You know what? It is really sad that we don't have as many sedans on sale in the Indian market today because manufacturers and even customers are moving away towards crossovers and compact SUVs. Now, the Honda City has been around since forever, and in its fifth generation, it is extremely popular. But to rival it, Skoda is here with a brand new sedan, the Slavia, which is based on the new Indianized platform. So, which one should you buy, the Honda City or the Skoda Slavia? Well, to find it out, we are going to put these sedans over a lot of different tests like comfort test, bad road ride quality test, performance tests, and a lot more to help you decide, choose the right one. The Skoda Slavia right here is based on the MQB A0 iron platform shared with the Kushaq, the Taygun and the upcoming Virtus, and compared to the City, this car is 4mm wider, 18mm taller, and the wheelbase is longer by 51mm. Meanwhile, the City over here is based on the modified version of the 4th generation City's platform, and the City is longer than the Slavia by approximately 8mm. Both the cars come with 16-inch tires. Both the cars look really good, and personally I love the design of both the cars. You know what? The blue shade on the Skoda Slavia really stands out, but the City looks great too. Which one do you like more in terms of design? Let me know in the comment section below. And talking about the lights, well, both the cars come with really sharp lights. Now, the City has a full LED light setup at the front. The Slavia has LED projectors up front. The throw from both the lights is good. What safety features do you get on these C segment sedans? Well, on the lower variants of the Honda City, you get 4 airbags, while on the top variant, you get 6 airbags. In comparison, on the Skoda Slavia, the lower variants come with only 2 airbags, while on the top variants, you get 6 airbags here too. Meanwhile, the Honda City also gets ABS with EBD, it gets hill start assist, it gets TPMS, it also gets EAC and VSA, which is vehicle stability assist. Meanwhile, the Skoda Slavia gets ABS with EBD, it has brake assist, it also has hill start assist, and the Skoda Slavia also gets MCB, which is multi collision braking. Let's get started with the tests. We are going to check the ground clearance of both of these sedans. So Gandhar and I will be sitting in the rear seats of these cars. Adil will drive and the car will be driven over this bad patch of road over here and see which one scrapes or does not. The Skoda Slavia came out with flying colors. It did not touch anywhere and the extra ground clearance was super useful. So I'm super excited, super interested in knowing how the City fares over here. Wow, I am amazed because the Honda City also did not touch anywhere, and that is really good because if we would have done the same test with the 4th generation City, well, my heart would have skipped a beat. The Honda City is quite easy to park in tight scenarios. It offers very good visibility and the quality of the reverse camera is also decent. Again, the steering of the City is also light enough, thus making it easy to maneuver this car in tight scenarios. The Skoda Slavia, in comparison, has a higher seating position and again that also offers good visibility. The quality of the reverse camera on the Skoda Slavia is also better than that of the Honda City. The Honda City has a turning radius of 5.3 meters. While the Slavia's turning radius is a bit more, but the difference is not very high. However, both the cars are quite long and wide, so in a lot of tight scenarios, you may not be able to complete a full U-turn in one go. The cabin of the Skoda Slavia feels like a familiar place because a lot of bits and pieces are similar to the Skoda Kushaq that we have seen and driven a lot of times earlier. Now the good thing is that the quality of certain parts is actually better in the Slavia compared to the Kushaq, and overall the layout is very nice. It is ergonomic and there is a long list of features on offer, and well, that goes without saying of course, but the talking point about the Skoda Slavia is that it does look and feel quite premium, and you have this proper European car feel over here. Now another talking point of the Slavia is that it gets an 8-inch screen for the instrument cluster, which is fully digital, and the infotainment system has a 10-inch screen. So this car also thankfully has wireless Apple CarPlay, so my phone is already connected. I'll play some nice track. Okay, the sound quality is good. So this car basically has 8 speakers and a subwoofer. The quality does seem quite nice for a car of this price point, and yeah, the quality of the roofliner is better than the Kushaq. Overall, yes, good feel in the cabin of the Skoda Slavia, but still, I think few things could be better. I mean, on the older original Skoda cars that we have seen, the fit and finish used to be on another level over here. Because this is Indianized, you do feel some of the effects of the Indianization. But still, I think it's a great cabin. Color themes are very nice. The quality of the upholstery is decent, and overall, definitely a good place to be in. And yes, this one also has front ventilated seats, which is indeed a great feature to have. The driving position is very good, but the city is quite low slung in comparison. This one does feel a bit higher up. Outdoor visibility is also very nice. The mirrors are appropriate in terms of size also, but somehow I feel that the driving position offered in the Honda City is a bit more sportier. So yeah, let's move on to the city now. Oh, how I love the ergonomics of a properly sorted Japanese sedan. The city feels so good on the inside. Yes, the Skoda Slavia is a great car on the inside, but the city also feels very nice, and I particularly like the driving position which the city offers, which is a lot more sedan-like, low slung. Now the city also has very nice front seats. The seats on the Slavia are a bit firm. They offer good comfort and support, but they are a bit on the firm side. The city's seats hug you really well, and the quality of the upholstery is also way better on the Honda City. Now fit and finish inside the cabin is better than the 4th generation, but still there are a lot of hard plastics all around, and certain bits could be better over here as well. Now in terms of features, the 5th generation City is also quite loaded, and if we talk about the instrument cluster, this one gets a part digital, part analog unit, and along with that the infotainment system consists of an 8-inch screen with 8 speakers, that is 4 speakers and 4 tweeters. Let's check out the sound quality. Now the City unfortunately does not get wireless Apple CarPlay, so I've connected my phone through Bluetooth and the track is being played. Okay, the sound quality is decent on the Honda City. I think it was slightly better on the Skoda Slavia. And another downer in the City is that the quality of the touchscreen isn't up to the mark. I feel Honda could have done a better job over here because the graphics aren't all that great. The user interface isn't very polished either. So yes, the experience with the touchscreen could have been better. The screen is better on the Slavia. The sound quality is also slightly better on the Skoda Slavia. So yes, let's get driving now. The Skoda Slavia gets the same engines that we have already seen on the Kushaq and the Taygun. The first engine is a 3-cylinder 1-litre unit making 115 PS and 175 Newton meters. That one gets a 6-speed manual or a 6-speed torque converter, and we actually drove the Skoda Slavia 1-litre TSI just a few weeks back. So the 1-litre engine may sound underpowered on paper, but in reality it is not very underpowered. It is quite adequate for day-to-day driving and for some spirited driving. I mean, you really enjoy having fun with that engine, but again, what I'm driving right now today is the 1.5 DSG, which is on another level. I'll come to this in a bit. Now talking about the 1-litre engine, well, refinement levels I think could have been slightly better on that engine because being a 3-cylinder engine, vibrations are felt inside the car, and even when you start the car, well, when you do a cold start, you do feel some amount of gruffness from the engine, and the engine also does feel a bit noisy when you start it. Apart from that, drivability is decent on the 1-litre, and it is actually decently fuel efficient too. So in the city you can realistically expect 10 to 11 kilometers per litre, out on the highways around 15 to to 16 is what is easily achievable. Now the 6-speed torque converter on the 1 liter TSI is also a very good gearbox. I feel it will be more reliable than the DSG in the long term, but the manual of the Skoda Slavia, well, the clutch is a bit heavier than the manual Honda City, so that is another point of concern. The gear shifts for the manual are quite decent. They do have some amount of heft in them, and I feel they are not as slick as the Honda City's manual gear shifts. Apart from that, well, the one which I'm driving right now is the 1.5 TSI. This one makes a massive 150 PS of power and 250 Newton meters of torque. This engine, well, the 1.5 TSI Evo engine also has a cylinder deactivation technology feature. So when you're just coasting around or cruising, 2 of the cylinders get deactivated, which helps reduce fuel consumption. Performance from this engine is on another level. Refinement level is also very good, but at higher RPMs, this engine also tends to get really noisy. And I think near the red line, it is actually the City's IV Tech engine which sounds better. Now, as I mentioned before, 150 PS is quite a lot of power. So when you just stamp the accelerator pedal of the Skoda Slavia, this car glides ahead with utmost ease, and yes, it can definitely shame cars a segment above in terms of performance. Apart from that, the 7-speed DSG on the Slavia 1.5 is also nicely matched to the engine at speeds above 30 or 40 kilometers per hour. It is very quick, it is very smooth. At city speeds around 10 to 30 kilometers per hour, it does feel a bit jerky, which is again a trait of most dual clutch gearboxes. In terms of driving dynamics, I think the Skoda Slavia is sorted for most part. The steering could have done with some more feel and feedback, and it could have done with some more heft also at high speeds, because at speeds above 80 this does feel quite light, and I think some more communication would have been way better, like something that we have seen on the older Skoda Rapid, also even the Laura and even the previous Octavia. Those cars used to have a more communicative steering wheel. Apart from that, well, this car has a really nice composure at high speeds. You drive this car at speeds well above the ton, it feels very confident and very stable, and it inspires confidence in the driver to push the car a lot more. And so overall the driving dynamics are sorted, but the steering could have done with more feel. Now, because of the cylinder deactivation technology, the 1.5 TS engine does not gulp down a lot of fuel when you're just going easy on the throttle, but because this engine is so tempting, it makes you push the car a lot more. So when you are driving the car enthusiastically, you can expect around 7 to 8 kilometers per liter in the city and around 10-11 out on the highways. Drive the car very sedately and it will reward you with great fuel economy. So you will get 10 to 11 in the city and probably 14-15 on the highway. That is something which is possible with the 1.5 TSI as well. So overall, the Skoda Slavia is quite fun to drive. The 1.5 TSI DSG would be my pick out of all the variants, but do note that this variant is also the priciest. It commands a premium of a couple of lakhs over the city, and even compared to the 1 liter TSI automatic or the 1.5 manual, the DSG does command a significant premium. Now the Honda City gets a total of 2 engine options, one petrol, one diesel, and it also gets a CVT with the petrol engine, but no automatic is offered with the diesel engine. Now, of course, the talking point of the Honda City is the 1.5 liter IV Tech petrol engine, which is definitely the best naturally aspirated petrol engine out there in any mass market car. The variant which I have with me is the 1.5 CVT, which is aimed more towards comfort and convenience and less towards sporty driving. Now, it would be wrong to say that the Honda City isn't a fun to drive car. It is definitely very fun to drive, but in its petrol manual or even its diesel manual avatars. The petrol manual Honda City is another beast. You can have a lot of fun with that car, and those thrills are on a budget. So if you're on a budget, you want a proper fun to drive car, well, the Honda City 1.5 petrol manual is definitely a great one to consider. The IV Tech engine is superbly refined. It offers great drivability, and yes, the low end response on the Honda City is decent, but the mid-range feels flat because this is naturally aspirated, while the Slavia is turbocharged. So the mid-range surge on the Slavia is felt a lot more, but near the red line, the Honda City is unmatched. It offers great performance and it sounds really tasty as well. And talking about the gear shifts, well, the clutch is also extremely light. The gear throws are very short and slick, and overall the driving experience is just great. The 1.5 petrol engine is also decently fuel efficient. So in the city delivers 11 to 12 kilometers per liter. Out on the highways, it goes up to 16 to 17 kilometers per liter as well. The CVT is also a very nice gearbox. It is smooth and it is matched very nicely to the engine. But the thing over here is that when you tend to push the city CVT, it sounds faster than it goes. So that is the thing. Oh yeah, the rubber band effect is felt, but again, it is not as bad as some of the older CVTs that we have driven. So yes, the CVT is definitely something to consider if you want a no-nonsense automatic. But my personal pick would be the petrol manual if I am buying the Honda City. Now the CVT gulps down a bit more fuel compared to the manual, and if we talk about fuel economy, we can move on to the diesel engine, because that one makes the 1.5 litre ID Tech engine. That one makes 100 PS and 200 Newton meters, which is just about okay. But the good thing about that engine is the drivability that it offers. It has almost zero turbo lag. It is very smooth and linear in terms of its power and torque delivery, and it is superbly fuel efficient as well, making your running costs come down. The clutch on the diesel is definitely a bit heavier compared to the petrol, but again, it is not too bothersome. So from the diesel engine, you can expect around 15 to 16 kilometers per litre in the city and almost 20 kilometers out on the highways, which is indeed incredible. Now, another thing about the Honda City is that the steering feedback is also better than the Skoda Slavia. The Slavia steering feels incommunicative. This one feels more feedback rich, and yes, definitely it offers good confidence to the driver, but Honda has gone soft with the 5th generation City, which is why the handling isn't as agile as the Skoda Slavia or even the 4th generation City, which was a better handler than this one. Now you can have fun with this car also. You can also really push this car hard, but somehow I feel that the tires of this car also don't do justice to the kind of performance that it offers, and they lose grip a bit quicker than expected. Now the Skoda Slavia's automatic gearboxes come with an S mode. In fact, the CVT of the Honda City also gets an S mode, which does improve power delivery a bit, but this one also has pedal shifters. I mean, we would have done it without pedal shifters in the CVT, of course. So when you're pushing this car hard, you can definitely notice the kind of body roll that the 5th generation Honda City has, thanks to the softer suspension setup. Meanwhile, the Skoda Slavia feels more planted around the corners and it offers good confidence, but the Honda City is more low slung. It feels more sporty. The Skoda Slavia is a bit higher up, so it actually doesn't feel like a low slung sedan. It sits somewhere between the City and the Kushaq in terms of the ride height. Sitting in the rear seat of the Honda City, because a lot of chauffeur driven owners are going to sit over here, and all I can say is that I am all praises for this car. The angle offered by the backrest is just about perfect. Knee room is more than abundant. Headroom is also very good, and this armrest also feels quite big and chunky in size. Overall, it's a great experience starting in the rear seat of the Honda City, and now I know why so many people prefer this car for day-to-day commuting within the city as well as out on the highway. The ride quality is also way better than the 4th generation, because that one felt quite stiff over bad roads. This one feels softer, so that is another plus point. And overall, I think the light color theme of the cabin, the quality of the upholstery, all these factors add to the ambience and the appeal of the rear seat of the cabin of the Honda City. Lots of storage spaces in this car. The rear AC vents are quite effective as well. More than enough charging ports all around. So nothing much to complain in the rear seat of the Honda City. Now this car does not get any adjustable headrest at the rear. You get 3 headrests, but all of these are of the fixed type. Ingress, egress could be an issue in the Honda City, because City is a very low slung car, so the kind of vertical movement that it offers is limited, but there is definitely a lot of sideways movement when this car is going around over these bad patches. But apart from that, once you are inside this car, well, I think you don't feel like coming out. The kind of relaxation that it offers, that is excellent for a car of this price point. And right now we are going over a really bad patch of terrain. The ride quality doesn't make me feel nauseated or anything of that sort. I'm quite sorted over here. sitting in the rear seat of the Skoda Slavia now, and the very first thing that I noticed is that ingress and egress are slightly easier on this car compared to the City because of the high ride height. Now the backrest of this car also feels really good, but the best thing is that the adjustable headrests make my head feel a lot more comfortable, and I'm able to rest my head over here very easily. The seat also offers a lot of support, but the thing is that the City seats felt more softer and more welcoming. Apart from that, I think space levels in the Slavia are also very nice. Knee room is more than enough, headroom is decent, and I think 3 people could fit here very easily. So the ambience inside the rear seat of the Slavia is also quite good, but again, on these bad roads you notice that the ride quality is quite firm compared to the City. The City's soft ride made things a lot more manageable. This one feels firm, and there's a fair amount of body movement happening over here inside the Slavia as well. So yes, I think the rear seats of both the cars are really comfortable. Both of them are really spacious, but more in terms of comfort perspective, I think it is the Honda City which trumps over the Skoda Slavia by a small margin. Now, one more thing that I couldn't help but notice is that on the Honda City you get an auto up-down feature for all the 4 power windows. Meanwhile, on the Skoda Slavia you get that feature only for the driver's side window. Now, there was a time when cars like the Polo, Vento and Rapid used to get auto up-down for every window. So this feature, I mean, it has been skipped on the Taygun and the Kushaq as well. I think they could have offered it. Well, apart from that, I think great rear seat experience in the Slavia. The rear AC vents are slightly less effective compared to the ones on the Honda City. On the Honda City, you get those conventional charging ports, 12 volt and USB. On the Skoda Slavia, you get Type-C ports all around. So which one should you finally buy, the new Skoda Slavia or the tried and tested Honda City? Now the Slavia is slightly bigger, it has good comfort, it has excellent engines, and it is quite fun to drive. It offers a couple of extra features over the City, and it tugs your heartstrings properly. Meanwhile, the City, well, there's a reason why this car is so popular. It is immensely comfortable, it is fuss-free, it is cheap to maintain, it is more fuel efficient, and it also offers another level of fun. So if you want something that is slightly different, you don't mind trying something new, go for the Skoda Slavia. It is a great car and it won't disappoint you at all. But if you want something which won't give you any sort of trouble, you just cannot go wrong with it, well, I'd say go for the Honda City. Eyes closed, this is also a great car, and it also has the advantage of a diesel engine if you want one. Thank you guys for watching this video. I really hope you like it. Which one is your personal pick out of these two? Let me know in the comment section below.